Alright, a long gestating video, another one, in addition to the Galbanum video from over the weekend. Another video I've been planning on doing is a video focused on lilac as a note in fragrances. So finally today, several days after the Galbanum video, I've got 10 lilac fragrances here that I think are great. And if you like the idea of lilac in perfumes and fragrances, then this is the list for you. So if you're curious to learn what they are, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. Yes, I love this flower. This flower is so beautiful, but sadly they're not all year round, you know? Just around the time I was preparing this video, a friend told me there's lilacs at Trader Joe's, go get them. And around this time I had planned to put this video together, so I shot several of the fragrances that I'm focusing on here today with a bunch of lilacs that I bought from Trader Joe's of all places. And I love the way they smell, and I love it in fragrances too. Yes, it's floral. Yes, it can be very feminine, but they're flowers. So today I've got 10 fragrances for you focusing on lilacs. But before I get to the fragrances, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you still haven't subscribed to the channel, please do click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So AMOUAGE Lilac Love is probably the first fragrance that kick-started my obsession with the smell of lilacs, but I think I shouldn't say that. There was another fragrance called La Parfumerie Moderne DESARMANT. I could also add En Passant from Frederic Malle. Those three fragrances were the fragrances that got me excited with lilacs, but I think AMOUAGE's Lilac Love, because it's a gourmand lilac, that got me really excited because I didn't realize that lilacs could be, you know, connected or meshed with gourmand notes to make for a perfume, and it really does work. But let me know, who is a fan out there of this flower in fragrances, lilacs? Do you like fragrances featuring this note? And do you have a favorite lilac fragrance? Put a comment down so I can find out. And we're gonna go ahead and start off the video with Lilac Love from AMOUAGE. Such a beautiful fragrance. It's a beauty, it's a long-lasting fragrance, and I think it's one that you can totally start with exploration into lilacs, but you gotta realize this has gourmand notes. So it's nicely meshed with lilacs, gourmand notes. So it features lilacs, cacao, heliotrope, gardenia, tonka beans, vanilla, orris, peony, jasmine, and rose. So it's basically a big bouquet of flowers meshed with you know, gourmand notes, and especially cacao, because it's a bouquet of flowers, mostly lilacs, sprinkled with the dusting of chocolatey cacao is what I get with it. But of course there's powdery touches here. Heliotrope has almondy touches and powdery touches. There's vanilla and tonka beans as well. But the rest of it are flowers, and it's beautiful. Mostly it's lilacs, but you'll pick up a little bit of gardenia in here, maybe a little bit of orris and peony. But beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. I think this is top-notch release from AMOUAGE. I'm obsessed with the way it smells. Lilac Love from AMOUAGE. The second fragrance I would credit for my obsession with the smell of lilacs is La Parfumerie Moderne DESARMANT, this one right here. And this one is sort of a simplistic lilac fragrance. Lilacs with oak moss, leather, and vanilla. That's pretty much it. There's a leathery undertone here. It starts off smelling a lot like lilacs. Vanilla does come in, and then it settles to a leathery oak mossy base, but you can still smell the lilacs because the lilacs are the dominant note here, and it's beautiful. It's a gorgeous fragrance. It's not necessarily overly complex like Lilac Love is. It doesn't wear minimally either, because leather and oak moss together is not like a very simplistic note, you know. And it's nicely done. Lots of lilacs with the oak moss, leather, and vanilla. Gorgeous stuff. This brand, I don't know what's going on with them. They have some great fragrances, and at one time they used to sell the fragrances at Barney's. So I don't know what's going on with them, but either way, great scent. If you don't know it, check it out. It's La Parfumerie Moderne DESARMANT is the name of the fragrance. And then finally, En Passant is the third and final fragrance that got me excited about lilacs. En Passant is a Frederic Malle fragrance, and it's created by Olivia Jacobetti. And I like her fragrances. I love what she does with fragrances, and she's done a great job here. But it's taken lilacs to a watery direction. There's water notes with lilacs here. cucumber, wheat, and petitgrain. So it's an interesting combination. It's a watery experience of lilacs, slightly kind of bitter green with the petitgrain. There's that wheat note that comes in, and of course cucumber adds an ozonic, slight aquatic touch to the fragrance. When you smell cucumbers, there is that sea-like aquatic touch, and you get that here. It's ozonic, so it's an ozonic aquatic lilac experience, and it's perfect for a hot summer day, you know, if you want that kind of floral fragrance, but you want it kind of watery and you know, cooling. That's what you would pull for. So these, along with the previous two fragrances, are what really got me excited about lilacs and fragrances. And then we've got more lilac fragrances. We've got 7 more. The next one I'm going to talk to you about is from the house of JACQUES, and this is LILAS EXQUIS. And this one actually is gorgeous with the lilacs, but it's meshed with the hyacinth. And we've spoken about hyacinth quite a bit with the galbanum video as well. Hyacinth as a note doesn't come up frequently, but it's here pretty prominently along with the lilac. 2 purple flowers: lilac, hyacinth, linden blossom, musk, woods, ambrette, bergamot, blueberry, lily. It's once again it's a floral bouquet bomb kind of a thing, but it's an overdose of lilacs with hyacinth, and then that linden blossom, that kind of greenish, beautiful note that grows on lime blossom, basically what it is. You can totally pick that up in here as well. It's musky, it's woody, but it's fresh, very, very refreshing floral experience with purple flowers of lilac and hyacinth. Gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance. Check it out. JACQUES LILAS EXQUIS, a great scent focusing on lilac. Next up, going to the house of Bottega Veneta. This is LILLA. This one right here from the Parco Palladiano collection. And here, with this one, we're going with lilacs to aquatic marine, not necessarily water. We've got lilac, seawater, salt, and musk in here, and that's pretty much it. It doesn't wear very overly complex because you don't have a lot going on with it. There is a saltiness here. A seawater comes in as well, adds that marine layer to the fragrance, and it gets very, very musky. So all these notes kind of tone down the lilaciness of the fragrance, but still you're experiencing a kind of a salty marine aquatic form of the lilacs, which actually is not bad. It's a great scent. It's just sometimes, you know, the aquatic touches can become overwhelming, but here it doesn't become overwhelming. It's a pleasant scent. And this collection from Bottega Veneta is one that I want to really delve into, but they're not very widely represented like they are in Europe and other places like London at the different stores. It's very hard to get these here. They're at the boutique, Bottega Veneta boutique. But either way, we can go ahead and slowly discover their collection of fragrances, and this is definitely one that doesn't disappoint. If you like the ideas of lilacs with marine notes and salt and things like that, then definitely check out LILLA from Bottega Veneta. The next fragrance, go into the house of Histoires de Parfums. This is not a blue bottle 1.2, and this one focuses on once again lilacs, and these two were both created by the same perfumer. It's Luca Maffei, but they're completely different fragrances. Totally different. It seems a lot more hefty of a fragrance. It's not kind of sheer and fresh. There's a heft to this fragrance, a deep density about the fragrance, because all the notes seem a lot thicker in comparison to some of the other fragrances. It doesn't wear like a light floral fragrance. That's what I'm trying to say. So lots of Ylang-Ylang with lilacs here, vanilla, lily of the valley. There's ivy in the notes for a green kind of ozonic, grassy kind of an earthy touch. Pink pepper, white musk is what the whole combination is. And again, it doesn't wear very light. I think this is more of a dense fragrance, so I think I would find this more appropriate for spring and fall rather than like the heat of the summer kind of a thing. But I think there really are no rules. You can control your sprays and things like that. But I think it's pretty gorgeous. It's not my #1 in this collection if I was ranking Histoires de Parfums, which I recently did. If you haven't caught that video, go catch it. But as a lilac fragrance with, what do you call it, with Ylang-Ylang, I think it's a top-notch release. So check it out. It's a yellow flower against a purple flower, Ylang-Ylang with lilacs, and this is not a blue bottle 1.2 from Histoires de Parfums. The next fragrance, oh my god, is a Love It First Sniff. Amazing, amazing fragrance. I sniffed this once at Barney's, immediately fell in love with it. This is VILHELM Perfumerie, a Lilac a Day. Such a gorgeous fragrance. And this one I could have thrown in or added to my galbanum fragrances video recently, because it does also have a pretty prominent galbanum note. But this one, the stars are lilac, freesia, jasmine, galbanum, black amber, Turkish rose. I think it's just amazing. The way it smells is just amazing. Lilacs as a flower to begin with are really, really beautifully smelling things, flowers, but contrasted with that galbanum note, it adds a green layer to the fragrance, adding into the freesia and jasmine, and then the amber and the Turkish rose. It's a spring, it's like smell of spring captured in a bottle, because you have this like growth of greenness with flowers blooming everywhere. That's what this one is. Lilac a Day is heavenly, like it's really, really a heavenly fragrance, you know? Check it out, a Lilac a Day from Wilhelm Parfumerie if you don't know it. The next fragrance I'm going to talk to you about is from a San Francisco indie niche perfume house of INEKE. This is After My Own Heart. Another lilac fragrance that's beautiful. I mean, these are all pretty much lilac-y fragrances. If you like the idea of lilac fragrances, you're going to have to decide which one is going to be suited for you. Probably the best way for you to experience them is probably sample them or get samples from somewhere so you can test them out to see which works best on you. But INEKE's After My Own Heart is all about lilac with green notes, musk, heliotrope, sandalwood, bergamot, and raspberry. There is a very, very light fruity undertone there, but it's mostly the lilacs contrasted with green notes. And you know what? Green notes and lilacs work really beautifully together. That's why we had galbanum with the previous fragrance focusing on lilacs. This one has green notes. Also has a little bit of a powdery touch from heliotrope, and I always get almondy, slight almondiness from heliotrope. There's something there. Heliotrope and the mimosa flowers always give me the like an almond accord. It's here a little bit, but you know, it does work contrasted with the lilacs. In fact, we have another fragrance. That's what the two main notes are, almonds and the lilacs. That's coming up in a little bit, but here it's beautiful. Settles to a little bit of a creamy sandalwoody base, but you've got that beautiful lilac running throughout the fragrance. There's a little bit of a bergamot freshness thrown in as well. Beautiful scent, INEKE's After My Own Heart. If you don't know that brand, do check them out. They are sold at Tiger Lily Perfumery here in San Francisco. The next fragrance, as I said, is that one featuring lilacs with almonds. This is Issey Miyake's latest, Drop the Issey, this one right here, and this one does focus on that contrast of almond milk with lilacs, and it definitely has an almondy touch throughout there. But the more I smell this, the more I realize that lilacs on their own have a slight almondy undertone to begin with. So it makes sense that they contrasted with that note here. But Drop the Issey features lilacs, jasmine, almond milk, musk, ambroxan, solar notes, orange blossom, cedar, star anise. This is a designer fragrance. Very interesting that a designer is launching a lilac fragrance, and lilacs I don't think are very trendy as a note. That's why they're not appearing as frequently as the other notes are. So it maybe it's a trendy note now, I don't know, we shall see. But I think they've done a great job here for a designer to capture the smell of lilacs contrasted beautifully with almond milk. So only thing I hate about this is the bottle. You can't really lay it down, and it's kind of rolly when it's on the table. Not really, but it's an odd shaped bottle, but the smell is quite nice. So it's Issey Miyake Drop the Issey. Check it out if you don't know it. And I'm going to end the video with a fragrance from the house of Tiziana Terenzi. It's Aphrodite, this one right here. Do you know Aphrodite? Beautiful, beautiful lilacs. So beautiful. The notes are lilacs, white currant, lily of the valley, peach, pink pepper, neroli, tuberose, white musk, ambergris, and ebony wood. So it's a nice fusion of flowers with musks and fruits and some woods thrown in. But I think it's gorgeous. Tiziana Terenzi fragrances are all very intense fragrances, and I think they do really beautiful, intense floral fragrances. If you think floral fragrances do not last, I'd suggest check out Tiziana Terenzi's creations. They have a lot of floral fragrances, and their fragrances do last quite a bit. I think they all do. They're extrait de parfum concentration, so they have that longevity, and here it really does. But this one is a slight fruity fusion of lilacs with white currant and peaches, but they have green lily of the valley thrown in the mix as well. And I always feel like green notes complement or contrast beautifully with lilacs to begin with. Pink pepper for some spice and neroli for some citrus flowers. Throwing in tuberose as well. Tuberose and neroli I think also complement one another. There's musk and then the ambergris with the ebony wood. I think it's a solid release. And of course the bottle is beautiful, as you can see. If you like lilacs, I think definitely this one, all of these fragrances are ones that you should check out. I suggest go sample them in store to see how they work for you. Maybe you don't know lilacs much and this is how you're going to discover a new fragrance and a new flower. Or maybe you just figure out a way to get samples from somewhere and test them out to see what works best for you. Because all these fragrances will work perfectly this spring, and I love lilacs, as I said. I just bought a big bouquet of it. I photographed a bunch of my fragrances, and I'm enjoying the smell of the lilacs, and of course the smell of the fragrances featuring lilacs in these fragrances. Anyway guys, those are my 10 favorite lilac fragrances. Let me know if you have favorite lilac fragrances that I did not mention here. I know it's not a very popular note, but I really enjoy this smell. It's a great smell. It smells great. It's a beautiful purple flower. Maybe it's a lavender flower, something in between. But I think it's a great scent. It's not very widely mass note is what I was trying to say. And also, you don't see the lilacs being sold all year round. It's just one time of the year, and they come for a while, and then they're completely gone. I think that their season is completely gone. It's just sad that that's the only time we can enjoy lilacs, but when we can enjoy it, I enjoy it pretty, you know, as much as I can is what I'm trying to say. So finally, this video is made with 10 lilac fragrances. It's been long overdue. I hope you guys enjoyed it, but as I said, please do let me know if there are any other lilac fragrances I'd love to check out. If you have any questions or comments for any of the fragrances I discussed with you today, please let me know, and let me know if you're a fan of some of these or all of these fragrances. Put a comment down so I can find out. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching. As I said, please like this video, please share it, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.